Welcome to the B2B Legend Show by OneFlow. I'm Josephine, your host, and on this show we dive into the stories behind some of the legends in the B2B world. Each episode we chat with industry leaders to explore their journeys, challenges and insights. Today we're joined by Johanna Sjölin, Marketing Director at Avidly. In this episode we'll dive into Johanna's journey from B2C to B2B marketing, the importance of authenticity, and behavioral shifts and non-linear sales. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the B2B Legend Show. Today we're joined by Johanna Sjölin, so welcome.
Thank you so much, Josephine. I'm thrilled to be joining you at B2B Legends today. I've been looking forward to this all week to speak about marketing leadership and the beautiful chaos that comes with it.
Yeah, it's a whirlwind, but it's fun. But before we dive into your career journey, it would be great if we could start off with you just with a quick introduction. Tell us a bit about who you are and what you're working with at the moment.
Yes, so Johanna Sjölin is my name. I recently leveled up to 40 last year with a big face slap kind of a party that I guess no one missed in the Stockholm area. But I'm marketing director at Avidly agency. So in my role as marketing director, I'm both owning the development and conceptualization of our professional services when it comes to marketing, and also responsible for the marketing of and branding of Avidly as a business. Avidly agency is one of the most decorated, or the most decorated, actually, I need to be more confident with that, the most decorated HubSpot solutions partner globally. So we're doing business consultancy, delivering platform expertise, and everything that comes with that, for example, including CRM, marketing implementations, tech integrations, website builds, and everything centered around the platform of HubSpot.
Awesome. And now let's go back to the beginning. So it would be great if you could kind of walk us through your journey, kind of not maybe the first job, but when you started off and how you got into where you are today.
Well, yes. So my journey, I thought about this the last couple of days. So it's been anything but linear. So I started in retail, actually, firmly in the B2C world. So it's quite of a difference to what I do now. I wear many creative hats at the moment. I've been trying out doing visual merchandising, designing showrooms, marketing coordination, organization of photo shoots, and launch of new clothing series, and also developing loyalty programs, running campaigns, and very, very all hands and very tangible. That's where I started. And then after, I think it's a little bit over 10 years within the same company, I made the leap into corporate B2B and the agency side. And that was a complete shift, to be honest. I thought, well, it's marketing to humans. How big of a difference can it be? But also the agency life is a bit of a face slap, but in a good way. So I had almost no experience besides my retail marketing background. So I learned by doing pretty much, and literally doing everything at the moment. So, for example, my first week at Avidly, I found myself writing long-form content for a company doing 3D printing of human tissue in English. And that was my first week, I had no experience from writing even. And, designing downloadable assets in InDesign. And InDesign was a tool I had to learn from my sister at the evening before. And building personas, fighting my way towards like getting C-level sales and marketing, work better together. And once I even found myself doing some development of a website we just launched when we had lack of a developer. So everything pretty much, no manual, just driving in head first, but it suited me and I loved it. And look at me, here I am 7 years later. And I guess like after a while, I found my footing into this, learning by doing. And I discovered that my sweet spot was up in the clouds, pretty much, looking at the bigger picture and developing strategies. And that's naturally evolved into moving over to leadership roles. And yeah, now I'm guiding global teams across different markets and different cultures and everything that comes with that.
Nice. And was that clear that was what you were going to do?
What's funny? My first kind of like dream job, that was being a archaeologist. That was back in like 94 when Jurassic Park was a big hype. I was really obsessed. I'm kind of happy that I didn't go that path, because that wouldn't suit me, sitting still all day and, being really patient. But I thought that was what I wanted. But later on, I got a new dream job, and that was like working at a fancy magazine. That could be either like as a journalist or just, doing the layout of the magazines. So actually in ground school, I did do the design of our school paper. I want to think of it. I also, like in my exam work at the gymnasium, as we say in Sweden, I did a sports magazine. And back then I learned a lot. Just like, if you go for it, you can go almost anywhere. We did an interview with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He was big back then. He was playing in Ajax, so he was someone back then. And we also we did play ice hockey with the Swedish National Hockey League, and we did interview some big rugby players. So yeah, those experiences really taught me that anything is possible if you're willing to create it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, getting an interview with Zlatan, I mean, even back then, couldn't have been easy. That's really
no. I'm also a little bit ashamed when I look back at the questions we posed him, because one of the questions was because he had just recently turned 20. So I literally asked him if he could buy booze for me because we were 17. Yeah. No joke.
What was the answer?
He said we needed to ask his manager about it.
Okay. Another way of saying no, unfortunately.
Exactly. He was laughing though, so.
Oh, okay, that's good. Nice. But then looking back at your career so far, what have been some of the kind of defining moments that have led you up to where you are today?
I mean, throughout my career, I've always more or less gone my own way, and honestly never cared too much what's expected for me as a next step, if you know what I'm meaning. Don't know what's expected from society even. So I've always loved challenging the status quo, and that feeling when you look at something established and think like, what if we do this the complete opposite way? And that questioning mindset probably has guided my path more than any other formal career plan. I don't have any academic education. I just, vibe my way through life. And I think like when I started working with retail and B2C, that was like, I was asking myself, what is the complete different thing I can do at this moment? I want to try that.
That was B2B.
That was B2B, yeah.
And this is a very open question, but what do you think is the most important thing in marketing? It can be either like in strategy, or it can be like personal trait, or what do you think is the most important thing?
I think from my own experience, when I first started with leadership, I tried to play the part of like this serious corporate leader, and honestly, it felt like I was wearing someone else's uncomfortable shoes all the time. And it took that much time until the light bulb moment came. And it was actually during a pitch where we just tossed the script away and just got real about our challenges and vision. And I really came through as my personal self. And not only did we land that account during that pitch, the client also flat out said, this honesty was refreshing as hell. So, but also it's really important to mention that the critical part I learned here is like authenticity without expertise, that is just winging it. And I could be real at that time because I had done my homework. I knew the solutions inside and out. I understood the client's industry and their challenges they faced. I had data to back it up. And so being your 100% genuine self works because the clients trust the real you. So that trust would instantly disappear if you can't deliver the goods also. So the magic happens at the intersection of completely authenticity, being your true self, and knowing your shit. So without the other, everything falls flat, I would say. So that's my driving force and my main thing I believe in when it comes to marketing, human authenticity. And I think like B2B buyers I talk to today, they are exhausted by this polished perfection. They crave honest partners who acknowledge complexity and demonstrate how they overcome real obstacles.
And what would, outside of being your authentic self that you talked about now, what is one other piece of advice you would give to marketers looking to improve work or strategy?
I think right now, everything is unpredictable. Like 2025 is a really challenging year. It will be a really entertaining year. So we need to, as a marketer, you need to decide whether to jump on that surfing board and surf the uncertain wave of change, or if you're going to drown. That's hard. But all of the things that comes with AI and personalization, and it feels like AI finally is starting to deliver on its promise, but with a crucial twist, going back to that authenticity part that I talked about. It works best when it enhances human connection rather than replacing it. So not be afraid of AI, just embrace it. And I'm seeing breakthrough results combining AI-driven insights with authentic human follow-up. And I think that is where we need to play around and see how we can make use of it that feels more personal and not creepy. Because I think that the magic happens when technology identifies the right moment for real persons to step in with genuine value. So technology and your true self, if you can find the perfect balance there, then.
Nice. And you touched upon leadership, and you've had several leadership roles in your career. So how would you describe your leadership style, and how has it also evolved?
How it's evolved over time. So I'd say like the biggest misconception about me as a leader is that I'm this typical soft and calm and cozy millennial leader. You know, you probably see the reels or on TikTok, trying to desperately, be best friends with everyone. And that's not me at all. I'm much more rational than that. But to understand my leadership style, it's important to know that I truly treat work like it's a really real part of my life. So I bring my whole messy, curious self to everything, discussing campaign ideas with my kids, for example, who, by the way, has pretty good ideas and strong opinions, but then also bringing my hobbies to work and to work projects. For example, I invited a lot of my clients to my birthday party, and I can invite clients to music festivals. So I believe in like finding the right balance there. There's one Johanna. There's not work Johanna and then private Johanna. So
yeah, there's like a lot of focus on the relationship part there, where you actually get to know each other and not just work you or home you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm genuinely excited to connect with my team and not just help the individuals grow, but also the psychological aspect behind building like dynamic teams.
Yeah.
I think that fascinates me a lot. I strongly believe in that most people actually can create magic together as long as they have the right leader that creating the right environment. And I believe that like letting people be curious and feeling trusted to experience and experiment themselves, feel like I got their back in anything they do and it's okay to fail. And yeah, rather than trying to squeeze every minute of immediate deliverables into their schedules. And I mean, this is also, of course, a challenge when you have the backbone to defend this approach when someone else from above is breathing down your neck and about quarterly numbers and that part. So yeah, team first, human first.
And how do you approach or how do you motivate and also inspire your team? I mean, it's not always the best time. So how do you keep motivating your team to work together?
To me, it's really important to have fun at work, as you probably already have catched from what I've said so far. But what I mentioned when it comes to building trust internally. So we are a consultancy agency, so it's really important for us to build trust with our clients, but it's equally important to build trust internally, to feel like we're creating this environment that it's totally okay to fail. We're almost celebrating failures because that comes with learnings. So we should even try to reach failure sometimes. And all of the biggest leaders and most successful people, they have so many failure history behind them that got them the greatest learnings. So,
but what challenges have you then faced as a leader, and how did you work through them?
I'd say like the biggest challenges I faced as a leader has definitely been navigating these culture differences across our global teams. It's been far more bigger than I could ever expected. Like what motivates someone in one country can be completely different in another. And also like what drives someone, communication styles, work expectations, and even how to receive feedback. It all varies dramatically. And and then also upon that, it's not only culture differences in different countries, it's also we've been acquiring a lot of agencies. So as soon as you get a new agency and you want to merge that with a whole group, a new office culture is also upon the country culture. So yeah, it's been more challenging than I ever could have imagined.
And what are some if another leader would encounter that, what advice would you give them to kind of work through that?
You need to accept that there are culture differences, and we need to embrace it and find, the beauty in it. You learn a lot from it as well, and it's not only challenges. For example, we met a large group from Avidly in Munich last week, and one of my teammates, he's from Tunisia. He brought me Tunisian wine and like a big chunk of dates. And he said, like in Tunisia, it's tradition to bring dates and wine to your boss. And yeah, those kind of moments, that's really, it's worth it all. Mm.
That's a beautiful gesture, or what
It
it's
is.
called.
Yeah, and the dates were delicious, by the way.
Nice. I also want to look in a little bit of your achievements, your challenges, and all that. So, what is one accomplishment that you are most proud of in your career?
I'd say, hope it doesn't sound cheesy, but I say I'm most proud of that I've always stayed true to myself throughout my career, and I've been going my own way, but not caring too much, as I mentioned before, about what other people expect. And I discovered that I'm extremely good at just vibing my way through challenging times and uncertainties, and it's almost like outside my comfort zone is actually my comfort zone. And that itself is really comforting feeling. When you start to realize that you can do anything when you're not paralyzed by the unknown, so to speak. So that is, to always feel like you keep on developing as a human. That is my main accomplishment, I would say. And my driving force, or the driving aspect in it all, has never been a title or money. It's been the applause, or maybe rather the feeling, of creating something exceptional for others, whether it's like building strong individuals within your team, or dynamic teams, or challenging clients with bold directions, or just shaking things up by leaving a room with a feeling of, wow, what just happened? I mean, that's what gets me up in the morning.
Nice. Do you have like a specific moment where you really felt that you can share?
I did at one time. It was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. We had a couple of colleagues that was trying to get this. It's like a title when you work for HubSpot, which is our main partner. So you work for HubSpot to educate other people globally and train them in like 3-day trainings. And the path to go there is like you need to have like a role play towards a jury in HubSpot. You need to go this full training that is like 1 month, and then you need to do a boot camp in Dublin, and there were so many aspects. It was such a tough time, but I was determined that I wanted to do this for once, and I actually passed it. There were 2 people before me that didn't pass the test, but I did it. And when I started to work as this master trainer, as it said, the next step was then to learn 300 Google presentation slide pages per day in 3 days. So 900 pages inside and out, mixed with demos in the tool, and also practical exercises. And, always keep up the engagement, keeping track of everyone's. Sometimes it's like 24 attendees, making sure that if someone is like leaning backwards more towards like this, or looks sleepy, I need to engage them. So it's so many aspects, and just doing that anyway, I was way outside of my comfort zone. And then every training also ended with like an NPS survey for all of the participants, and where they were supposed to score me and my facilitation skills. And that was really scary. But at several times I got a 10 out of 10. So that's a big achievement. Long story, but that was...
No, I love that.
I'm still super proud of that.
Yeah.
That I did it.
It sounds very tough and very, as you said, not a lot of people could do that. So that's awesome. I want to move a bit more into the future of marketing.
Sure.
So what are some trends or changes you are seeing that will have a big impact on marketing today?
Key changes. I mean, looking ahead, I see several key shifts, I would say, that reshaping the B2B marketing, that both excites me, but also challenge me probably. So, for example, the traditional sales funnel is long gone, dead, I would say. It's replaced by what I used to call it relationship orbit marketing. So prospects bounce unpredictably between awareness, consideration, and decision stages. The buying journey is not linear anymore. So I feel I'm seeing like the breakthrough results combining AI-driven insights with what my main ideology is: authenticity. So authentic human follow-up. So creating hyper-relevant conversation that feel both personal, not creepy, and our job isn't anymore to push people down a funnel. I believe it's creating meaningful touch points wherever they are. And with the AI and HubSpot, totally unbiased example, we do have the tools to do this. We just need to understand how to do it. So I feel like also AI is rushing us a little bit to be on our toes and be really forward leaning and scrap old playbooks. So I think this is a really challenging and exciting times. Also, when it comes to, behavioral, when you search, people do not search on Google in the same way as they've done before. You go to AI and ask your questions, and specifically early in the sales journey, when you do your research, that is more now moving over to AI. So with that, I think like the most successful B2B companies are now treating content more like a product development. So creating less volume, but with dramatically higher utility, so to speak. So we're moving away from the content that is for the algorithm's sake, as people are searching through AI now, and toward truly solving prospect problems, like more bottom of the funnel kind of content. You need to be more direct and supporting your business and your products. So I think more like interactive decision tools, customizable frameworks, genuinely educational resources that deliver value, whether someone buys it or not. Then if that is a junior person writing about 3D printed human tissue and who learned InDesign the day before, I don't know, but
More changes happening, and it's also you have to like with all changes, either, as you say, jump on the wagon or get left behind.
And also like with all this authenticity that I've talked about now, I also think like people are turning towards partners like G2 or Reddit to ask for reviews, and they want to speak to each other. They want proof from the pudding before they connect with sales, for example. So I believe that community-centered marketing is also replacing a campaign-centered approach that we're used to. So forward-thinking B2B brands, they are building vibrant communities where customers and prospects connect with each other, and not just the brand, but the users of the brand and humans behind the brand. So these authentic spaces, they will generate advocacy, of course, and insights that outperform any campaign we could ever design. Human first, word of mouth is more important than ever.
Yeah, 100%. And where do you see yourself in the future in about 5 years? What is your next steps?
Josephine, I don't know even what I'm doing this weekend. I'm just surfing the way. I'm open to everything. I'm not, the least thing I am is scared about not having anything to do, because I know I'm gonna survive this. I'm just curious to see what happens in this next episode of the Netflix series of my life. Anything can happen, and I'm open for it.
Love that. All right. And before we wrap up, I'd love to end it with some quick fire questions. So whatever comes to mind, just spit it out, basically.
All right.
Nice.
Exciting.
So what's one habit you think has contributed to your success?
Got stuck the first question. One habit. The habit of not having any habits, I would say.
Oh.
Nothing I do is ever like, I don't like to do the same thing twice. So maybe that is the habit of not having any habits.
I love that. And who do you learn from?
I learn a lot from my kids, a lot from my peers, my customers. Being in leadership, I've actually missed a little bit working with customers. So now I've pitched for working a little bit more with customers, because I learned so much from all of the different markets and perspectives. And I learned from different personalities. I think that is really interesting.
And lastly, who do you think should be in the next interview?
Next interview, I would like to see Steve Bartlett from the Diary of a CEO. Please interview him.
Would be really cool.
Yeah.
That is actually like, that is my go-to. Like when I just want to have something in my ear, it's him. And yeah, and I think it will be hard to get him here, but I will try my best.
If I could interview Zlatan, you can interview Steve Bartlett. I believe in you.
True, thank you. Well, Johanna, thank you for taking your time and sharing your journey and knowledge with us. It has been great listening to, and I think a lot of people will find this very valuable. So thank you.
Happy to hear, and thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to the show to not miss future episodes. See you in the next one.